All right, we are live, ready to get going in just a few minutes. Before we get this thing started, first things first, can you hear me and can you see me? Let's start off with the basics, the most crucial things. Hard to have a challenge if you can't hear me or see me. Let me know in the chat. Hey, Celeste, Eddie, thanks for being here. Laura, awesome. Okay. Cool. Well, before we even get started, welcome everybody to the Better Back Challenge. First of all, drop in where you're tuning in from. I love seeing the impact that this stuff has all over the world. So city, state, country, wherever it is. Let's see the size of the community here. Hey, Don, thanks for coming. All right, we got Nebraska, Jill, Colorado Springs. Cool. I grew up not too far away from there. Wakefield, Canada, Brooklyn, NYC, New Hampshire, Canada, Apple. I assume that's the Big Apple, or maybe it's just Apple. It's a city. Longmont, excellent. South Carolina, Canada, Kentucky, Jersey. Let's see, Columbus. Maybe if there's an echo, try refreshing the feed. That might settle it. Does anybody else hear an echo? Oh, we got a lot of Colorado folks. Very cool. Washington State, Maryland. All right. Yeah, no echo there. Okay. I think we might be good. Just some quick housekeeping. If you subscribe to the channel, if you like this video and you turn on notifications, you will get reminders over the next few days we go live. So maybe that might be the easiest way for you to stay on top of these workshops. Unless you just like getting notified by email, whichever works best. So follow along on the channel if you want to get notified moving forward of when we do these live events. And we're probably going to get started in maybe another minute or two. But while we wait just for everybody to get into the class, why don't we start off with just a really basic, what's the one thing that you want to walk away from this workshop having learned from me? What brought you here? What do you want to get out of this class? I think it's really important to get clear on why we're all here, whether it's back pain, dealing with stiffness, injuries, or maybe you were just feeling like your body isn't working the way you should. You're in the right place, whatever it is. I'd love to see what your intention is. Let's see. So lower back, nagging pain on one side. So who here is asymmetrical pain? It's on one side more than the other. A lot of lower back pain, how to move without lower back pain. Okay, so we've got Cynthia, pinches in neck and mid back. Yeah, back pain near the hip, back and hip issues, better body alignment, less pain from Denise. Okay, Enki Spondy, got it, from Shauna and Leah at London. Okay, rid lower back pain, full spine. Yeah, we got to go after all of it. Our chances of just resolving the lower back by doing lower back exercises are probably pretty small. The entire spine moves and operates as one unit. So we got to target the whole thing. Cynthia, arthritis, Jamie, lower back issues. Yeah, so I'm seeing a huge correlation, low back pain and hip issues, whether that's stiffness, imbalance, or hip pain as well. Okay. Amy, we got sciatica going on over there. And Pam wants to have less pain for longevity. Okay. Tamara, rotated and hiked pelvis from old back fracture. Yeah, I was in that group too when I broke my back, but we'll get into that in a minute. All right. Well, that being said, I'm sure it's probably going to be a lot more of the same, which is we're here for lower back issues. Maybe it's mid back, neck problems. And I'd have to imagine the vast majority of this group also has issues that show up in the hips. And if we really want to stretch this further, I bet if we were to take a look at the shoulders, there's probably some asymmetry. One shoulder's tighter than the other. There's probably going to be something showing up in the knees and the ankles because no problem in the body exists in isolation. It's always full body movement patterns. So I'm going to introduce myself in a second. But first, here's how this challenge is going to work. We are all going to be spending an hour together each night, maybe a little bit longer if I open up a live Q&A. In each workshop, I'm going to guide you through some really simple movements to help reset your body, how to relax muscle imbalances, restore basic function while improving mobility and strength. My goal for all of you is for you to leave each night with tools that you can immediately apply so you can start improving how your body moves and feels. I am not here to just throw a bunch of random exercises at the wall, hoping something helps or sticks with you. That's what social media is for. This challenge is a structured way that mirrors what actually works in long-term recovery. So let's go over the nights really quick. Night one, which is tonight, I'm going to show you how to down-regulate your nervous system, how to reduce compensation, and begin working on relaxing muscular imbalances. And we're going to finish off tonight by getting the larger muscles of the hips and the shoulders back online so your spine can have more support when it comes time to move. On night two, I'm going to dive into the science of why most treatments fail and what you can do about it. We're going to expand on the exercises from night one to continue to support the lower back further. And on night three, the third and final night, we are going to integrate more hip mobility to relieve even more lower back tension or mid back or neck issues. And we'll also discuss some long-term strategies that you can implement for your body. I say this because every night is intentional. Every night is going to build on the previous. And by the end of this challenge, you're going to understand more about what's going on with your body and more importantly, what you can do about it. So by the end of this challenge, you're going to have more than just an understanding of what's possible. You're going to have a real opportunity to keep this momentum going. And I've also got something special lined up as I usually do for these challenges. But first, let's get you a win tonight and have you feeling better. So quickly, let's go over who this challenge is for, just to make sure you're all in the right place. You're probably here if you fit one of these categories. You either have back issues, back pain, discomfort, or tightness. Maybe it's imbalance. Maybe it's limited range of motion. You might also notice issues in other areas close to your back, like your hips, your shoulders, your pelvis, your SI joint, knees, or even ankles. You're here because you've probably tried treatments, targeted, whether they be targeted treatments or general treatments that haven't really worked and or relief did not last long. You're probably here because you are wanting to learn how to take control of your body and stop relying on appointments or other people for relief. And last but not least, you're probably here because you're open to learning a simple, structured system that works. So if any of these sound like you're in the right place. This challenge is designed to give you a real, tangible first step towards feeling better. So that being said, probably a good time to get into my story because I see many people are new here. For those of you who it's your first time and don't know me yet, my name's Vinny Crispino. I'm the founder of Pain Academy. And let me give you a quick backstory because I want you to know it's really important to me that you know I didn't learn or read about movement problems and pain from textbooks or learn about them from other people. Years ago, when I was a much younger man, I was an 8-time All-American Division I collegiate athlete with over 30 plus Colorado State records for swimming. And in my early 20s, I went from being this elite athlete to nearly fully disabled when I broke my back in a traumatic surfing accident. My story from there is probably a lot like yours, which is you have a problem and you're in pain. So what do you go do about it? You throw yourself desperately into as many things as you can afford to find help. The first 10 years after breaking my back, so that first decade, I searched for answers in probably all of the places that you've looked as well. Chiropractors, PT, doctors, acupuncturists, massage therapists, specialists, anything and everything. And some of these things helped temporarily, but nothing really seemed to last long. I spent tens of thousands of dollars, and I think some of you have as well, just chasing relief. But 10 years after my injury, I still wasn't getting better. If anything, my movement was degrading more and more. And I remember hobbling out of a pain management center 5 years after my break with a brand new, fresh prescription of opioids, which are painkillers, and thinking, is this it? Am I just going to be managing this forever? Is this what pain management looks like? Just Advil, anti-inflammatories, and painkillers? And in leaving this appointment, I had this realization that I'm done taking drugs. I'm done Google searching experts. I am done counting down the days till my next treatment. It was time for a more meaningful change. So, unfortunately, it took me 5 years to realize that our healthcare system was not going to cut it and that they didn't really care about me in the way that I needed to be cared for, which was evident by the combination of your pain is in your head gaslighting, heavy opioid prescriptions given to just manage the pain, and being handed off to a new PT intern every other session or so. So I decided to do something more about it, and I put myself back through school. I started off with the basics of exercise physiology because I wanted to try and do this alone. I became obsessed at understanding movement, how to regulate the nervous system, and biomechanics because my life literally depended on this. I put myself back through school, earning certifications as a corrective exercise specialist and personal trainer through the National Academy of Sports Medicine. I then studied exercise physiology at Stanford School of Medicine's short course program, became certified in posture alignment therapy through Rogoski University, and pursued advanced learning from places like the American Council of Exercise, PTA Global, the Biomechanics Method, and the Kinesiology Institute for Performance Specialists, as well as I acquired a couple other nervous system specialty training along the way. But what makes my approach different is that I didn't just learn about pain from textbooks. I lived through it, and I was living through the worst of it. Not being able to walk or care for my special needs son, not being able to carry the groceries, always having dishes pile up in the sink and laundry hampers full because it just hurt like hell to do basic chores. I couldn't sit in a car or be driven anywhere, let alone really do anything fun. All of this was my motivation to get better. My education gave me the tools to take control of my own healing, and now that's exactly what I teach others to do. And as years went on, I learned how to harness the power of active therapy. Now, for those of you who are not familiar, there's something called passive therapy and active therapy. And here's the key difference, and then we'll get moving, I promise. Passive therapy is if you've ever felt that moment of relief walking out of an appointment only for the pain or discomfort to creep right back in, that's passive therapy. It's somebody else doing the work on your body for you. And it can feel great. It has its place. I love a great massage sometimes, but it puts your healing in someone else's hands. And over time, you become dependent on ongoing external treatments just for little bits of relief. Relief that at best only lasts maybe until your next appointment. You can't take that relief with you on the road. You can't do it on your own. You certainly can't recreate it. It can be helpful, but in exchange of that temporary relief, you give your control away to something or someone else. Active therapy is where you learn how to take back control. Think about a skill like riding a bike. The first time you tried it was hard, but once you learned it, you didn't forget it. That's kind of like active therapy. It's you learning how to use movement to fix your own body, just like you'd learn any other skill. And the best part is once you know and learn active therapy and you know how to do it, you can take that knowledge with you for the rest of your life. You learn how to move in ways that begin to restore balance, that strengthen weak areas and release tension. You gain skills to support your body on a daily basis. I'm talking about a self-care routine. So your body supports you more in doing the things that you love. You also learn useful things like how to down-regulate the nervous system, learn how to take work out to relax tension and reduce these muscle imbalances. A lot of you said you have asymmetrical pain. Well, you can also learn how to put work back in to encourage balance and tissue healing. You can build strength and maintain mobility, which sets you up for a better quality of life long term. So active therapy is about putting you in the driver's seat so you can get to where you want to go. And that's the difference between active and passive. And once I stepped into active therapy, everything started to change. I went from from barely being able to stand for more than 5 minutes without this excruciating back pain to running ultra marathons and completing one of North America's hardest 50-mile races in under 16 hours through the Oregon Cascade Mountain ranges. Not because I pushed through pain, but because I learned how to take care of my body and rebuild my movement from the ground up, one day at a time. And that's why I'm here for all of you. That's why I created this program. That's why I run these free challenges that you're all in. So you don't have to waste time like I did, giving up the best years of your life to something that can actually fundamentally be changed. My goal with these challenges is I want to be for you what I wish somebody was for me when I started. Somebody to show me the ropes, to hold my hand through this restoration process, help me avoid the dead ends and the pitfalls and the traps so I can come out on top stronger and better than I was before my injury. So before we get moving, let's just get real for a second. This challenge is not a quick fix. You've probably gone through enough quick fixes to know that they don't work in the way that you want them to. If you've had pain for years, if you've been feeling whatever you're here to resolve for quite some time, we can begin making an incredible change today, but it's not going to disappear overnight. That's just not how the body works. But tonight, I'm going to show you how movement can start working for you instead of against you, how your body can start to be on your side. And in fact, your body is your greatest ally. We just have to learn how to show it support. And here's the most important thing. What we do tonight isn't just about feeling better right now, today. It's about continuing this to feel better in a week. It's about where you're going to be at in a month. It's about where you'll be at in a year from now. Right now, if you're in pain, you're probably just hoping for a little bit of relief. But by the end of this, you're going to realize that you're capable of creating a breakthrough yourself. And this is why I always say healing is not about finding the right expert, that needle in a haystack. It's about learning to become the expert of your own body, period. And lastly, it's okay if you're skeptical. I was skeptical as hell too. That's why I'm hosting this challenge for you, because I want you to feel what I'm talking about. Don't just vet me out, vet this therapy out. Let your nervous system and the information I teach you tell you which direction you need to go from here. Okay, I think we've talked enough. Let's get moving so you can start feeling the difference. What we need tonight, I'm just using this big block, but it would be great if you can have a chair close by. We're going to need some space to lay down on the ground. I've also got this little yoga block here. You don't have to have a yoga block, but if you have one, that'd be great. Maybe you can just use a couple rolled up, folded in half pillows. Honestly, whatever's the easiest for you. So make sure we've got enough space to lay down, have a chair close by, and a yoga block. Maybe even a foam roller works too. But before we get moving, let's do an assessment. Let's figure out what's really happening with your body so we can then learn what we need to change. So I want everybody to stand up right now. Take your socks and shoes off. I want you to be able to feel the ground underneath you. So I'm going to give everybody probably 10, 15 seconds to meet me up, standing upright in your room. Okay. What I want everybody to do is let's start off by just marching up and down in place. Loosen up, shake your arms out, lift your legs up and down, maybe see if you can get rid of some extra tension, and then stop marching. The first thing you're going to do is look right down at your feet. Are your feet both directly underneath your hips pointing forwards, or do you notice one foot's rotated out? Maybe both feet are rotated out. Maybe one foot's in, one foot's out. Maybe both feet are in. Visually, we're going to first start off with assessments by identifying, is there any rotation in the feet? Because if the foot is twisted out, so is that knee, and so is that hip. And if your legs are your foundation and there's a twist in your foundation, now we can start thinking about why our back feels off or stiff and tight. because of imbalance in the legs. Let's not stop here. I just want you to visually look down at both feet. Now what I want you to do is feel for, are we 50-50? Are we standing equally on both feet? Or do we notice there's more weight in one foot? Like maybe we're 60-40. Maybe we're 70-30. Like all of our weight is really dumped on one leg and the other leg just feels like a kickstand. Hold your comments, just internally assess, what does it feel like to stand up? Now, I want you to scan your body from head to toe. Just take a little deep breath and assess, is there an area on your body that feels stiff, tight, or it's just loud? It's making more noise than another area. Maybe it's, man, I really feel my hamstrings tight, or that right hip just feels really contracted. Maybe your abs are tense. Maybe your left upper neck is tight. Whatever it is there an area on your body that kind of just has your attention? It's making a lot of noise and you're aware of it. Now, 1 out of 10, how does it feel standing? A 10 out of 10 is, this is great, Vin. I could stand in line for hours and hours and hours, no problem. I feel grounded, balanced, stable, and secure. A 1 out of 10 is like, I got to get off my feet right now. Standing doesn't feel good. I just want to sit down. Where are we at on the comfort scale of just standing in place? Connie, thanks for sharing that about my story. Really appreciate it. Okay, so Ida's at a 1. Taylor Jones is at a 9. Okay, Sandra 6. Robert 6. Christine, I love that you're all participating. Lynn's at a 2. Dawn 6. Okay, so obviously we're going to get a lot of different balance readings and comfort readings with standing. We're going to do one more assessment, then we're going to move tonight, and then we're going to come back to our assessments to see if anything changed real time that we can notice. For this next assessment, let's not push it. Let's be very gentle about this. It's an assessment. There's no prize that we get for forcing our way down to the ground. So here's what it's going to look like. Standing upright with both feet pointing straight, keeping both legs straight. What does it feel like to bend forward to touch the ground? 1 out of 10. A 10 out of 10 is like, oh, this is easy. I can touch the ground. I can probably do this 100 times. My hips feel like they're moving in really good ways. It feels balanced. A 1 out of 10 is like, oh my God, I can't even go past my knees. This is really uncomfortable. I immediately have to bend my knees and I feel like there's so much pressure in my lower back. 1 out of 10, what does it feel like to bend forward? 10 is amazing. I can do repetitive bending, 0 hesitation. A 1 out of 10 is like, I'm apprehensive. I almost feel like I'm going to be in pain before even doing it. Nice, little big house, stiff but further than before. Great. Spoons at a 0, 5 slowly. Okay, so Denise, probably a little bit of caution and hesitation there. Jennifer, right now it's an 8, but usually 1 or 2 in the mornings. Jennifer, for you, one of your benchmarks is going to be, can I start moving more fluidly in the mornings by doing this kind of therapy? Because maybe doing it at night, it's not really going to give you an accurate reading. It's all going to be about how you feel waking up. Great observation. Okay, great. Let's go and get moving. So first exercise we're going to do, I'm going to show you the easiest way to do this. I'm using a big block, but you're going to use a couch or a chair, something where you can lay down on your back. And it might be great if you grab a couple pillows to keep close to you. One pillow we're going to put in between our knees, and the other pillows just might be really helpful for modifications. So ideally, if I'm lying on my side, I'm going to scoot my butt as close to this object as possible, and then I'm going to gently roll over onto my back, and both legs are on this object. I'm going to give everybody a minute to get into this position. Ideally, we can do this, and we're comfortable here. Some of you might notice this is really uncomfortable because you're used to being rounded, shoulders rounded, heads protruded forwards. And that position's been normalized. So now that our head is actually trying to get into alignment with our hips, it's uncomfortable. This is where maybe, folding up a pillow, putting it behind your neck, kind of recreating that curvature might just feel more comfortable. Some of you might notice the object you're doing this on is like too short, so your legs keep wanting to plop out. Maybe you put a pillow underneath your legs to raise the height of the object. Ideally, 90 degrees at the knees, 90 degrees at the hips, and this is how we're going to start the Better Back Challenge. Now, I'm going to put 5 minutes on the clock, and this is our first exercise. So I have to imagine a lot of you are wondering, why are we starting out without moving, right? It's almost kind of like anticlimactic. We're starting out 5 minutes with our legs over an object in a down regulatory exercise. We are literally doing nothing right now. And that's the point. Because the point is to chill your nervous system out. Why? Because right now, remember what all of you said? Asymmetry, one side feels heavier than the other. I feel stiffness or limitation bending forward. I feel an imbalance. My foot is rotated. Whatever the problem is, and we probably could have done 10 assessments and we would have found tightness or restriction, right? Especially when squatting. Right now, your nervous system and muscular system might be really tense. Especially if you're in pain, your brain is on high alert. You're in that fight, flight, freeze zone. So if I just jump into immediately giving you something hard, if we just immediately start doing movement, all you're going to do is power through whatever problem you have, which in many experiences can make imbalances worse, kind of like piling up strength or weights on top of a weak foundation. So this do nothing, lay on your back position lets that nervous system of yours take a break. It takes a breath. It helps to settle the pain alarm and drop into a calm mode, right? So this position is like hitting the reset button. So when we do move, your body is actually supported, not panicky and stressed. 5 minutes of this can begin to lower that neural noise, relax the tight spots, and set you up so when it comes time to move, we can do it a little bit smoother, a little bit more balanced, and a little fighting ourselves less. Now, that being said, there's probably one of 3 experiences that you're having. Either number 1, this feels great and amazing. Sandra, sounds like that's you. The second experience is, this is no real difference. I feel literally the same level of discomfort. And the third experience is you're uncomfortable, right? I think somebody said, Lynn, this is so uncomfortable right now. So let's talk about this while we're all here. But first of all, I want everybody to take a really big deep breath. Hold that breath at the top, and then a nice, long, slow exhale. If this position feels good or supportive, or it feels like it's lowering your back pain already, welcome to your new SOS position. This feels great because your entire body is supported and in alignment, which means there's no excessive acute pressure on one area of your body, which means muscles can relax, which means this moves your nervous system towards safety and support, lowering that tug of war of tension many of you feel. If you're in that second camp, which is no real difference, no problem. Give it time. If you're in that third camp, this is uncomfortable. Well, we have to get real here. Being in alignment is uncomfortable, because our body, our structure, our neuromuscular system has normalized imbalance and asymmetry, which means going into alignment can actually be quite uncomfortable. And this is one of the things we need to resolve, because muscle imbalance, joint stiffness is so normalized, it's hard now to get out of this rounded forward, this kyphotic position that we're in all day long, which means your fight, flight, freeze side of your nervous system might actually not be able to shut down. So everybody notice here, are we holding on to something? Is our jaw clenched? Is our breath shallow? Can we actually just take a moment to recognize there's nothing to do here? I'm safe and I can relax. The floor's got me, the chair's got me. It's time to now let go. Let me take a deep breath. And some of you, that might just sound like a romantic idea right now. It's far from your reality, because your sympathetic nervous system, this fight, flight, freeze nature, is literally unable to calm down. So if that's you, adjust this to get as comfy as you can. Breathe and just notice if anything else feels good. Pain is not the only thing happening in your body. There's often a whole world around it too. Okay. Great. Everyone's doing great. We're going to move on to the next exercise. But before we do, I want everybody to take one more deep breath. There's no threat here. We're putting our body in position without asking it to do anything but relax. So can we send ourselves signals of safety instead of signals of panic? We've got the time to meet today. We've got a roof over our head, and we've probably got some food in the fridge. Our needs are being met, and now it's time to meet our body's needs. So here's the next exercise. I want everybody to grab an object, place it between your knees. I'm using a yoga block. You can use a pillow folded in half, a foam roller, whatever you got. This object's now in between our knees. I want you to slowly squeeze it together with both hips. Hold for a second or two, and then relax. Press both knees into the object. Hold for a second or two, and relax. I'm going to put 2 minutes on the clock. If it's not too much trouble, maybe close your eyes. And I want you to start talking to both hips together. This is not like a light switch on and off, really fast and furious. This is like a volume dial. Can your brain start to talk to these really large inner hip muscles, activate them? I don't care how hard you go, just talk to them by squeezing this object between your knees and then slowly relaxing them. Notice if you're trying to get one side to fire first or more. If you notice standing wasn't a 10 out of 10 or bending forward wasn't a 10 out of 10, it has to do with these muscles. So notice what it is you're feeling right now. And the big part is this is a hip exercise. We should feel the muscles in our inner legs. Notice if you're trying to use your abs or you're clenching your jaw again. Maybe you're furrowing your eyebrows or you're trying to use your lower back. Well, when these muscles don't work for a long time, that's exactly what you're going to do. You're going to use all these other muscles to compensate and just get through life. But we're not going to do that anymore. This is an exercise to teach your hips how to be hips again. Breathe and allow your legs to work. And relax. Breathe and squeeze. And relax. Don't overthink it. One squeeze at a time. You're doing great. Nice. Denise, I love that this is better. Many of you are going to notice the longer we stay here, probably the better you feel. And we'll talk about why that is or why that isn't the case after class. Okay. Now, no more pulsing on and off. I want just a nice continual squeeze and hold. So give me an even contraction, maybe 20, 25% of your strength, just enough to feel your inner hips working together. From here, we're going to bring our elbows out to the side, almost like we were to push somebody off of us or do like a bench press gym exercise. So our elbows are right out to the side. If I was going to stand above you, elbow to elbows in a straight line, our fist is gentle, soft, closed. From here, we're going to gently squeeze the shoulder blades back together. So think about those like posture muscles of our shoulders coming back. Squeeze our shoulder blades back together. Our elbows are going to lightly press into the ground, and then relax the upper body. Do it again. Gently squeeze the shoulder blades back together. I'll show you a different view of that just to make this a little more real. So we're essentially trying to squeeze those shoulder blades back, hold for a second, and then relax. Squeeze those shoulder blades back together and relax. I'm going to put about 1.5 minutes on the clock. Remember, no problem exists in isolation. So with this exercise, what does it feel like is happening? Do both shoulders pull back together at the same time? Are you able to talk to both shoulders in the same way? Does the contraction feel the same? Or does this feel very disorganized? Like, I don't even know what I'm doing here. Does it feel like one side you've got better communication to, and the other side is like dead or has amnesia? Like you kind of think it's working, but it's not. You don't really sense it the same. Nice. Tailor right shoulder and right foot cramping. Keep breathing. Keep a gentle hold with this object between your knees. We are trying to get your brain to stabilize both hips. So both hips are working together. And we are trying to balance out the entire upper body by getting both shoulders to work together. Imelda says both shoulders are not cooperating. It'd almost be weird if they were. Cynthia, right neck is triggering. Try less. But it makes sense if you've got right neck issues. If we're trying to get your shoulder to work and your neck is triggering and cramping down, if we reverse engineer that, what's going on here? It's that the right shoulder can't work, so you've tasked the right neck to do the right shoulder's job. This is all about motor recruitment, people. Can we get our hips to work very simply when we need them to? And what on earth is happening in our shoulders? Well, why do you think we're doing this exercise? Guess what rests right in the middle of these two things? Your spine. So if we have a problem with our hips and shoulders, it's not if the spine's affected, it's how much. What are you having to do? Twist, shift, offset, rotate the spine, hike one shoulder, rotate the pelvis, tip it forward, rotate a hip, have a externally rotate. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. This is what we're doing day one. It's to try to actually reorganize movement. Way easier said than done. Now, next exercise. Keep maintaining gentle pressure on the block. Now we're going to take both hands and hold your own hands. So interlace your fingers. Both arms straight up to the ceiling with arms locked out. I don't want your arms to bend. I need them to be straight. And very slowly, I don't care how far overhead you go, we're going to go overhead as far as we can control and tolerate. Some people, this is pretty smooth. Other people might notice, wow, one shoulder is having a hard time doing this. Either way, go very slow, breathe, and then come back overhead. Breathe. Allow both shoulders to work again. and come back overhead. What I don't want is you to go halfway and then just bend your elbows to touch the ground. That's us moving through the elbow because the shoulder doesn't move well. If the arm stays straight, we get a restore function in the shoulders while we're still gently holding this object between our knees. Now, this is simple, but that doesn't mean it's easy. Notice how we're not like doing something crazy complicated. We're not using fancy machines. We are literally just trying to get this machine that is your brain to start talking to your nervous system, and your nervous system to start talking to your muscular system again. What if we start helping you here at the crossroads between where your brain, nerves, and muscles all communicate? What if this is the missing piece? Cynthia, touch the floor if you can, but the goal is to not touch the floor, though that would be nice to have full range of motion. The goal is to start getting both shoulders to move bilaterally, simultaneously, in the same way at the same time. Because if we can do that, we can start to relieve asymmetrical tension in the upper body that's causing the upper body to maybe rotate clockwise or counterclockwise. Maybe one shoulder's higher. All of this upper body imbalance stresses the lower back significantly. So if you think of your lower back as like the bottom of a building, imagine the top of the building being twisted and shifted because of a shoulder imbalance. Well, you can do all the back exercises till the cows come home all day. It's not going to change the lower back if the lower back is just hurting because the upper body is shifted out of position. You're doing great. Rika, so your back arches when your arms move overhead. Though that's somewhat normal in this exercise, if when you go overhead, your back is arching, it's because your shoulders are tight. Said differently, your back is moving in excess because your shoulder lacks mobility. So if your shoulder lacks mobility and your lower back has to move now because your shoulder doesn't move, how is that going to feel towards the end of the day? What is the lower back going to feel like? Is it going to be relaxed and loose, or is it going to be stressed out because it's trying to make up for what the shoulders can't do all day long? That's the million-dollar question we got to ask. Okay, now what I'd like everybody to do is let's remove this block that was between your knees. And I want you to either scoot further away from whatever chair your legs were on. I want you to meet me down in this position on the ground where we're laying flat with our feet flat on the ground, both feet pointing forwards. I'm going to give everybody 30 seconds to meet me here. Yeah, we'll talk about cramping on night 2, what's going on and why that is, because I have to imagine a lot of you are noticing some electrical activity in the muscles. So we'll break that down, why that is, and once you understand it, we can do a little bit more about that. Okay, so now that we're lying on our back, with our feet flat on the floor, we're going to start this next exercise by slowly straightening the left leg out. If you can't straighten it all the way, just do what you can. Your left foot's going to point up towards the ceiling. We're going to take our right leg, interlace our hands together behind our right foot, and now we're going to start to do nice, slow, big foot circles, just like this. My shoulders are relaxed, my face is relaxed, and I'm now just going to get my right foot to be a right foot again. This doesn't have to be fast, because speed doesn't really help us fix these problems right now. What helps us fix these problems is slow, mindful, controlled reconnection with the neuromuscular system. So slow movement, focus on your cadence, and the circle being as smooth as possible. Our stomach is relaxed. We're not trying to use our back for this foot exercise, though many of you might feel your back trying to work. It's because these muscles are not strong enough yet, but we're going to change that. So now that we're doing this for a minute, we're going to switch the direction. Now let's go the opposite way. Now we're going to go counterclockwise. Big, slow circles. And here's the really interesting thing about this exercise. We're not lifting weights. We're not running a marathon. We're just getting our brain to talk and move our foot. And the real question we have to ask is, how easy can it do that? Is this an easy exercise? Like, yeah, this is done, then when are we going to get to more challenging stuff? Or is this a, oh my gosh, why is this so hard? And if this is challenging for you, we then have to understand, well, these are the muscles that help support us upright. These are the muscles we walk with. These are the muscles that should have a high level of endurance. These are the muscles that stabilize our foot, knee, and our hip. So if these muscles aren't working well, then what is stabilizing our body when we walk and when we stand? And the answer for many of you is your lower back. It would be weird if this exercise was very easy, yet you had all of this excessive tension in the lower back. Notice the correlation with you right now. Now we're going to point and flex the foot. Point the foot, curl the toes down, pull the foot back, pull the toes back, point and flex. I wonder what your back would feel like if this was an easy exercise. What your spine would feel like if it actually had stability and support from the lower leg. Would it work less with every step? Would you be able to bend forward easier? Would you feel more grounded when you're standing? I bet the answer is yes for all of you. Now, let's go and switch legs. So right leg straight, right foot points up towards the ceiling. Now lift the left leg off the ground. We're going to start with big counterclockwise circles. Same exercise, same time. And I bet already you actually have an opinion on which leg works better. Which foot do you feel more connected and is smoother? What does that have to do with why you felt the difference standing on one leg versus the other earlier? What does that have to do with how you're putting more weight into one leg and one hip? What does that have to do with your lower back? Asymmetrical pain. Well, a lot. And we can hang out after class and talk about it. But right now, breathe and move this left foot as smoothly as you can. Notice if this side circle feels smoother, or maybe it's not even a circle. It's like a triangle or something, because you can't control the foot. Switch the direction. Now we're going clockwise. And again, if this is hard, lying on our back and we're not moving and navigating our world and dealing with our body weight, the real question we have to ask is, what's happening when we move? How are these muscles not supporting your spine? I think there's a huge correlation between how hard this exercise is for you and why your back feels the way it does. And the most beautiful part is, let's figure that out together, what the answer is. Let's get really good at this movement, at the stuff I'm teaching you, and watch what happens to how your lower back feels. Keep it moving. You're doing great. I remember the first time I did this, I was cursing the person who taught it to me. I felt so incapable of moving. It was unbelievable. But that'll change. Now, let's point and flex your foot. Pull your foot back and your toes back. Point your foot, curl your toes. Point and flex. And some of you are noticing a lot of cramping because this is the first time in how long that you've actually gotten your arch muscles to work.
them being locked up in a shoe, them only taking steps on hard surfaces where every step is the same, does not really stimulate your foot arch. And so this might be the first time in a long time many of you have actually made the neural connection with these basic muscles that support your back. And this is what we're doing here today. Okay, now both feet flat on the floor. All right, I want everybody to do a round of pelvic tilts with me. So slowly roll your pelvis back so your lower back flattens on the ground. And then we're going to slowly roll your pelvis forward, nice and slow. So maybe we have a little bit of space. Your lower back lifts off the ground. For the next minute, I want you to slowly roll back and slowly tip forward. I don't care if you're like me when I broke my back and I had like a millimeter of movement, or if this actually feels good. Don't force it. Just do what you can today. Tilt and breathe. You might notice one side of your hip and lower back and abs are doing more of the tilting. The other side might feel a little dead. That's okay. This is day one. We will eventually restore bilateral access and capacity. And that will also help relax the back further. Just do what you can. Gentle tilt forward, gentle tilt backwards. Gentle tilt forwards, gentle tilt backwards. And it's okay if this is quite uncomfortable because we're asking all of these muscles in your abs, lower back, hips, pelvis, and legs to move and facilitate this motion. But if these muscles don't work well, then of course, why would we not have dysfunction or discomfort in the lower back? That will change over time. Now, I want everybody to find the middle. So the middle is us not rolling back and flattening. It's not us arching our back and tilting our pelvis forward. It's somewhere in the middle. It's your neutral. Ideally, it's just a light little curve in the lower back, and we can ideally be relaxed here. It's okay if that's hard to find that right now, but I want everybody to think about what is the position of least effort. That's going to be your neutral, halfway between tilting forward and backward. Now from here, I want you to do butt squeezes. So these butt muscles right behind your legs, your glutes, I want you to clench them tight, turn these butt muscles on, and then let go. Turn and engage your butt muscles on, and let go. Maybe it's a little helpful to gently press your feet down to the ground to feel these muscles. We're not tilting our pelvis. Remember, we're staying neutral, and we're just trying to talk to these large muscle groups. Now, typically when there is an injury, especially with the lower back or the hips, when there's pain, your brain neurologically relaxes the butt muscles because it doesn't want you to get injured more. So when there's an injury or chronic lower back pain, your butt muscles tend to relax more and more because these are your propulsion muscles. They're what help generate power and force. They help us sprint, run, walk, and move. So by shutting down these muscles, we reduce further re-injury. However, these are the muscles that also support and stabilize the lower back and move the hips. So when they don't work for chronic long periods of time, way past the time it takes to heal an injury, weakness, stiffness, and immobility start to set into our hips, which furthers the development of lower back and hip pain. Because the weaker these muscles are, the less capable you are at moving well. And the less capable you are at moving well, the more stress your lower back experiences. So what was supposed to be an adaptive shutdown, a helpful adaptation, has now turned maladaptive if it's chronic. Notice if you don't even feel the contraction in the butt. You might feel the hamstrings. You might feel your lower back.
or your abs. Hell, you might feel one hip in a different spot than the other hip. That's all okay. And that's all natural, and it's normal when there's imbalance and dysfunction. And this is what we're going to change today. This is our day one. So try to lighten any frustration. Try not to overdo this. You can't outthink this neural problem. We have to slowly get these muscles to turn on over time. If these muscles, these butt muscles, don't easily work, you're probably going to use your hamstrings more. No wonder why your hamstrings are stiff and tight. No wonder why bending forward doesn't feel good, because the hamstrings, these secondary muscles, have now become the primary muscle. Those hamstrings are exhausted holding you up all day, helping you bend forward, pick things up, get in and out of chairs. And because they're so overworked, they're stiffening and stiffening and stiffening due to fatigue and overuse. By us turning on our butt muscles, we start to change that motor recruitment pattern. And over time, the hamstrings relax and the glute muscles start to come back online. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. We've got one more exercise, and then we're going to close out and wrap up night one. For this next exercise, it would be great if you had a pair of shoes. If you don't have shoes, I for sure don't want you to do this with a pair of socks on, okay? I'm going to show you the exercise so you can get a visual of what this is going to look like. Let me move this guitar. So if you have a very grippy floor like I do, this is going to be fine to do without shoes. If you feel like you don't, go ahead and put some athletic shoes on while I explain this. So ideally, this last exercise, we're going to be leaning up against a good firm structure, a good surface that has support. Feet are straight, hip width apart, right? I'm not standing wide or one foot's pointed in a different direction than the other. Both feet are aligned and straight. I'm just going to walk out just far enough so when I bend my knees, my ankle is slightly in front of the knee, right? My foot's not behind my knee. And this is what we're going to do. So I'm going to give everybody about 10, 15 seconds to just meet me against the wall, and then I'll walk us through what we're going to do. About 5 seconds left, and then we're going to start. Okay, everybody lean up against the wall. Keep your hips on the wall. Step your feet forward. I don't care how low you go. If you're a little nervous doing this, only bend your knees like an inch. If you feel like you really want to start working on strength, well, the lower we go, the stronger we're going to get, probably the faster. So just meet your body wherever it's at today. I'm going to choose to bring my hips just slightly higher than my knees. I want you to wiggle your toes so all of the pressure is in your heels. Okay. If we do all the pressure in the front of the foot, the front of the knee is going to take on the force. It's not a problem, but I want your thighs to do the work. So if you can keep your toes light, you're going to feel all of the work in your leg muscles. Gently press your lower back into the wall. Relax your hands on your thighs, palms face up, and just kind of slouch. Let's not push our upper body into the wall. This is about you actually learning how to relax your lower back and get your legs to support you again. All of this burning and activation you're feeling is your strength coming back to you. It's us lighting up and turning on all of these muscles that support our entire spine. So everybody take a deep breath with me. Big breath in, hold it at the top, and nice, long, slow exhale. One more time. Big breath in. We are safe here. We are strong. We're feeling our body support us. And a nice, slow exhale. The sensation is weakness leaving the body. One more. Big breath in. It feels good to get our body to work again and support after much time of not moving. And nice, slow exhale. We've got 10 seconds left as a group. Relax your face, relax your shoulders. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly get out any way you can. And I want you to meet me in a standing position. So stand up. Okay. What do you now feel? Standing here, do you feel better balance? More 50-50? Do you feel more grounded? Nice. Class music, strong, amazing. Do you feel more supported? Do you feel more in your body? Sandra, a little more stable. What happened to that 50-50? Is it a little bit more equally distributed? Deborah, stronger and taller. Beautiful. What about when I asked you to scan your body from head to toe and there was like one area that was maybe making a little more noise than the other? Has that changed? Is there more symmetry? Nice, more grounded. My tired lower back feels way better. We didn't really do back exercises, did we? We just worked on getting the shoulders and the hips to just communicate better. Now, try to bend forward. What happened to your bend forward? And again, explore it with curiosity. Let's not force it. What happened now when it came time to actually move? Kathy, closer to 50-50. SI joint pain, not as sharp. Celeste, I feel all those things. Cynthia, more surprised that the foot circles made my arches cramp. Makes me wonder how much I've been relying on custom inserts all these years. We're going to table that. Definitely a good conversation to have later. Mary, feel much more grounded. Robert, more pronounced. Is this like your sensation of being in your body and balance is more pronounced, or the pain is more pronounced? Anne moves more freely. Anna, I can touch the floor. Linda, bending is still a 9, but more stable overall. Notice how we didn't do mobility. We didn't do stretches. We just asked your nervous system to communicate with your body a little better day one. Now, there's one of 3 things that just happened. Either number 1, you feel better. If that's you, this means your body responded well. Even if it's 1%, this doesn't need to be a miracle. It's day 1. If you feel 1% better, that means your body responded well to these movements, which is a huge win. Your nervous system accepted the changes. Muscles and joints are now more capable of working more efficiently together, and things are headed to the right direction. Welcome to Pain Academy. This is what we do. And I can't wait to make an even bigger impact in your life if this is how you feel after one mini routine. Congratulations, this is huge. Nice, Diva, not so unsteady. Robin, more symmetrical. Now, number 2, the second outcome, you feel the same, no difference. This doesn't mean that the routine didn't work. It probably just means your body needs more time to process neuromuscular change. Some people, especially given how long these problems often take to build up, need more consistency before you start noticing improvements. Healing isn't always instant, and you already know that, but small changes can stack up over time. I don't want to see where you're at the end of day 1. I want to see where you're at the end of week 1. Maybe you register change more on a weekly or monthly level than just a day 1 level. Now, outcome number 3, you feel worse. And this is where people get confused. And it doesn't mean this is not right for you. If your body has been stuck compensating for years, waking up muscles that haven't been pulling their weight can actually stir things up. Asking joints to move that haven't moved well in years can stir things up. If certain muscles have been weak, limited, or underused, getting them to start working again can often cause soreness, right? Just like if you go hit the gym after a long break, you started working out, you did something great for yourself, but you're probably stiff and sore and tight because your nervous system for those first few weeks is your body adapting to movement again. It's processing that new load. And if your nervous system is on high alert, Introducing any movement, whether healing or helpful, can feel like a spike of neural activity. It can feel uncomfortable at first because you've linked movement and pain so strongly in the brain that you're really good at feeling pain. And unlearning that is going to be a huge part of the recalibration process. So the takeaway here is, however you responded, it's all useful feedback, better, the same, or worse. It's your nervous system talking to you. And the key here is learning how to listen and adjust and continue showing up, because that is how real change happens. So, regardless if better, the same, or worse, I want to take you back to the first time I ever tried this movement therapy. I did this defeated, absolutely spent physically, financially, emotionally, and spiritually. I thought I had tried everything, and still I felt stuck in this endless cycle of frustration, false hope, and pain. And I remember doing these really simple exercises I just shared with you on day one. And I thought, no, this is too simple. While I was doing it, this is too simple to work. This is silly. When are we going to get to the real stuff? Because I was convinced that if something was going to work, it had to be as intense as my lower back pain was, right? I was convinced that it had to be something just as extreme and just as drastic as my story, because my pain and my disability felt massive. So the solution had to match it, right? So when I first did this method, I was skeptical. Hell, I thought it was too simple to work because it was just positions. It was just gentle movement, and it was just my body. No hands-on expert, no therapist, no machines, no big dramatic interventions or drugs. How is any of this stuff going to change anything? But then I stood up and something happened. Just like I asked all of you to do, which is just stand up and check in. How do you feel? What changed, if anything? And for the first time in years, I felt 5% better. Not pain free by a long shot, not magically healed, but better. And here's where it hit me like a ton of bricks. Nobody touched me, no expensive appointment, no risky invasive procedure, no drugs, just me, my nervous system, and movement. And that's when I knew I was onto something, because I could now do this on my own. And that feeling that you all had, a little better, you can now do it on your own. And that's when I knew that this kind of training was the answer for me. It's what I actually hadn't really tried in the 5 years before. And from that moment, I was all in. That's it. And if you even feel a little bit of that, oh my gosh, okay, I think there's something here, even a little bit of that shift, then I want to invite you to check out and take the next step like I did years ago. I've put everything I've learned into a system that I call the movement program. It is for people who were just like me, people who are tired of fighting their own body, not knowing what to do, wasting time and money looking up answers outside of ourselves on things that don't work, and they don't empower you to learn how to do the work yourself. So the movement program is an online structured guided process that takes you through the entire journey of how to make a comeback story, how to restore your actual movement. One day, one movement, one exercise, and one damn breath at a time. And every day that you log in, when you're ready to move, that time, you're going to just log in, you follow your movement routine that's designed to help do these things so you can start stacking real lasting progress. And more importantly, we all did the same thing tonight, but the movement program adapts to what helps your body move and feel its best. So tonight we all did the same routine, but with the program, no two people go through it the same way, even if your symptoms are the exact same, because every body is different and everybody responds to stimulus differently, which is why you are all having different experiences to varying extent. And despite what makes us all different and unique, our bodies are still grounded in the same tenets of biology. We're still meant to move, and movement is medicine. And reactivating nerves and muscles to work better will help support your body better for the long haul. And the more you intelligently give your body what it needs, the more it gives back to you, period, full stop. So that's why, for those of you who are just like I was when I first started this, I want to give you a chance to experience this for yourself, free for the first 7 days. So I've got a trial offer. This is no big pressured commitment. I'm just offering you a chance to step in decide something bigger so you can see what's waiting for you. I'll share the link really quick with you. I think my tech team just did. He did a great job with that. I also want to add that you'll get a special discount that I don't normally have online. This is a bonus for anybody who's joined me on this challenge who wants to start the free trial by Friday, because you're in this challenge with me, which means you're kind of like a lot like I was, ready and hoping for something new. You're ready to show up. You're willing to put the work in. And I want to honor that commitment that you have. So that's why I give the challenges a special discount here. Again, this is not a high pressure thing. This is not a crazy urgent thing. This is just me opening up a door for you to take the next step when you're ready. And if you've already felt a shift tonight, imagine what's going to happen when you keep choosing those shifts when you're all in. What's going to happen in 30 days, 60 days, and 90 days from now? It's absolutely incredible. Debbie, you are halfway through your 5th week. Oh, congratulations. You're already in the program. You do recommend folks trying the 7-day free trial and at least a month. If you still offer monthly, yep, that's what this is. Both of those are low risk for those unsure. Yeah, that's the whole thing. Look, I understand, and then we'll get on to what night 2 is going to be. I understand everybody's here, not because this is the first time they've tried something. We probably start something new and our guard is up. I think of it almost like, if you've ever tried to start dating after your heart's been broken, your guard is up, you're more reserved. But that's why I have these free challenges. That's why I have a free trial, because I just want you to start saying yes to your body again. I want you to start saying yes to movement again. And if I can give you a free challenge, if I can just get you to meet me on the ground, if I can get you to try my program, and you can start to see oh my God, I can do this again. And this doesn't need to be complicated. And I just need my set of exercises to do and to follow it. And Vin's going to progress it and make it harder. And this can be really simple. And I hope this free challenge, I hope the free trial is all you just vetting me to see if this is something that you're willing to try. And that is the best case scenario. Worst case is you join me for these couple of days and you learn a lot from me. And I hope you use what I teach you as long as you can. Kathy, where have you been all my life? I was so mad the first time I came across this information. I was both torn. I was feeling hope of, oh my gosh, what is this? And pissed that I was 5 years into the Western medical system. And none of this was ever recommended. It was not once did somebody say, yeah, motor recruitment patterns, neural engagement. Let's learn how to downregulate the nervous system. Let's get the right side of the body and the left side talking to better to reduce the stress on the spine. We're talking basic stuff here. And it was not once recommended. And so I felt this wave of hope, oh, I think I found it. I think this is it. And pissed that it took me 5 years to find that. The first day I did this, Pain Academy was born. I had the vision of bringing this information to the rest of the world. I was actually paying $250 an hour. And this was 10, 13 years ago money, $250 an hour to learn this information. So not only was it not recommended, it was highly inaccessible. And here I am feeling like this is actually the first thing I've done that has legs. My mission now in life is to pull back the curtain, is to unveil this process and give this information into as economical and as affordable of a way as possible. No $250 an hour stuff. We're talking mass scalable information to the masses. Let's see. Gretchen, same way with my cat's hair. Oh, did I miss a good pet story? Let me catch up on these comments. Yeah, Deborah, health system would lose money. Well, look, and this is, it is what it is. You know, if I'm involved in a car accident, I want the health system. I want a trauma specialist. But if I want somebody to teach me self-care, I'm not going to go into her health system. That's a system that makes money off of sick care. And that's what it is. And unfortunately, a lot of people only have those experiences like I did. And if you had a great system, I am jealous. I'm envious that you got better in the healthcare system, and I'm really happy that worked for you. No, Leslie, I'm out in Southern California now, near Ventura County. Diva, thank you, Vinny, for your dedication and simplicity. Yeah, and any questions, by the way, let's hold some space for a Q&A. I've got some time I want to give you and connect with you. Real quick, tomorrow we're going to go deeper into the science of why and how specific movements heal and why so many treatments fail and what you can start doing different to see better results. So I'll stick around for a little Q&A, see if I can give you a little bit more help here. Let's see. So Diva, thank you, Vinny, for your dedication and simplicity of these exercises. I can see this being something that can help me. I'm still pretty young with kids. I want to be my best again for us. You know, that was, I wish I had some, you know, I told you about the origin of Pain Academy when I first came across this information, but I first got into this exercise physiology, not to help people, to help myself. Because I was a very young father, became a father at 23 years old, and it was a very hard experience, not only having a child that young, but he was special needs. And so, you know, having to physically take care of a child and hold him, and I mean, all the things that come with being a special needs parent, let alone a parent by itself, it changes your mind. It no longer becomes like how strong you can get right now. It no longer becomes about vanity. It becomes like, oh, I need to show up long term for these kids. How do I do that? What is the best way for longevity here? And it really shifts your priority. So Diva, it sounds like you're in the same boat as I was. Larry, the discount should be auto applied. I believe we're running 10% off annual. And then we also have some extra like bonus group coaching in there as well. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Okay, let me get caught up on this chat. Bible Bites. Send your info to Robert F. Kennedy. Make America healthy again. Yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to do that. You know, the dream is to have this be taught in PE at a young age. Like to teach kids actually how to regulate their bodies would be amazing. Let's see. Yeah, Larry, it comes out to $41 a month. So squatting fox, why might my foot arch cramp when I squeeze my butt? Well, there's a couple ways we can say this, and I'll try not to go off on a tangent here, but let's make this helpful for everybody. Did anybody here have the experience of like trying to get a muscle to move or work, but you feel other muscles? Maybe it was like the squeezing the object between the knees. We're trying to get the hips, but you're feeling your back tense up, or maybe your arch cramp. Maybe in the foot circle, you're feeling a whole lot else happen. The butt squeezes, you're like trying to get the butt to squeeze, but you're feeling muscles or activation elsewhere in the body. How many of you had that experience? Yeah, a few? Okay. Well, your brain is like the control center. So it's what controls the circuitry of which muscles are activated at what time and in what order. In a healthy nervous system, the right muscles are capable of doing the right jobs and work in the right order. But when there's an injury, either past or current, when that means there's compensation, right? So imagine you spraining an ankle. You're not going to go walk on both feet the same. You're going to learn how to shift your body weight and shift work to some areas to feel as little pain as possible when walking. Well, this shifting is a nervous system adaptation. You learn to talk to different muscles differently when there's pain and an injury. And though that's helpful to reduce pain, this compensatory mechanism of talking to different muscles differently for 25% of people becomes chronic. One injury turns into a dozen misfires. We start using the right side differently than the left side. One muscle group, its work is shifted elsewhere. It gets weaker. The weaker it gets, the more the other muscles have to work harder. This altered neuromuscular recruitment is what's happening in the most basic form of your body. Notice how we didn't really do complicated movements tonight. We just said, hey, brain, talk to this. And notice that electrical light work showed up. This is what happens when there's heavy long-term chronic compensation and dysfunction, right? Dis means without, function means working in a proper way. So when I say dysfunction, it means things working not in a proper way. So when you go to activate one muscle group and there's a cramp elsewhere, or there's a cramp in that group, that's dysfunction. And this is what happens to the body when it's not trained to relax the compensatory patterns. This is why you can go treat one area of injury and get nowhere with it for years. Because if we're not relaxing the neural compensation, nothing's going to change. You could have all the best damn back exercises in the world, but if you're neurologically still recruiting the arch to work in favor of the glute, and you're not rewiring things on a neural level, not much is going to change. And this is why we have to start with the basics. The basics are not sexy, they're boring, but they're wildly effective because we start to get the brain, we start to get the brain to start talking to the right muscles in the right way at the right time again. And that's what a lot of you just started to scratch on the surface with tonight. Great question. Leslie, reach out to my team and we'll connect further. Cynthia, beautiful. I love that. This has been great for you. Looking forward to the trial. I'd love to have you. Can't wait. Oh, great. Gretchen, you're repeating someone else's exercise. If we join the program, how do you tailor to me specifically? Great question. So think about what we did tonight. We all did a routine. And even though we all did the same routine, you personally had your own experience. Either felt better, worse, or the same. Well, based on your experience, that's feedback, your nervous system giving you feedback. In the program, when you're done with the routine, we'll ask a couple questions. Hey, what happened in this exercise? What was the total outcome? Better, worse, or the same? And based on how you answer these questions, we will know, was this helpful, or do we need to take a different route? Do we need to do an entirely different routine? Maybe going after neuromuscular function, step one, is problematic. So can we do it in a different way? So your feedback then shapes what your next steps are going to be. You could have a herniated disc, and the reason why your disc is herniated is entirely different than somebody else's reason. So you both doing the same routine, you're going to have two different experiences. And based on your experience, we are going to find what more so moves the needle for your body, what better meets your body's needs. And when you do this program and you give your feedback and you keep doing it and exploring and giving feedback, what happens over time is your schedule becomes custom tailored to help you do more of the things that help you specifically reconnect, rebalance, downregulate, and move and feel better. So it's a really cool feedback response system that I've hired some incredible developers to help me make. It's literally like it's literally like having me in your living room as I'm helping you guide through this, as I'm guiding you through this program. Patty, feeling really wonderful right now. Thank you. You're welcome. You're wondering if your classes are osteoporosis friendly. Patty, if you do any basic, we're not even talking a deep dive. if you do any basic search on osteoporosis or even osteoarthritis treatment programs or protocols, one of the first things that you're going to find, the common denominator, is gentle exercise. And that's what this program is. It's at the start, gentle exercise, and then we can start to build up more functional strength and mobility. Exercise is medicine. Movement is medicine. And that's what this is. Now, that might be vague for some people, so let me really make that clear. When I say movement is medicine, it's because every time you move and you get a muscle to shorten and then lengthen, you're doing a couple things. You are increasing the blood flow to the soft tissue, which means fresh oxygen, nutrients, fresh oxygen and nutrients are being delivered to the soft tissue, and waste products are also being cleared away from the soft tissue. So when I say movement is medicine, you're literally dosing your soft tissue with what it needs to repair, grow, and thrive. On top of that, most of the joints, like our cartilage, are hydrophilic, which means the more we move them, the more water we pull into them. This is also why people have said motion is lotion. Well, what does that actually mean? It means we are actually helping to lubricate and fortify the bone structures, cartilage structures, tendinous and muscular and nervous system structures with each and every movement. So when you come to a corrective exercise program like this, and I say motion is lotion, medicine or movement is exercise, I'm talking about the physiological, mechanical properties of how gentle motion like this can begin to heal your body. It can improve your stability, your balance, your coordination, your strength, and your mobility, which all supports your bones, your joints, your tendons, and ligaments further. So yeah, it can be very helpful. Okay, I'll probably take one more question. Yeah, Melissa, would it be wise to repeat the series? Sure. Yeah, try it again tomorrow morning. We're going to build on this tomorrow night. So if you're going to do this tomorrow morning, just make it as casual as we did today. We're not trying to like push the envelope and be better than we were yesterday. Just expose your body to this gentle motion and we'll build on it tomorrow night. Okay. All right. If there are any questions that are urgent that have not been answered, I would love for you to submit them to my team and I so we can get you the help you're looking for. Absolutely show up for night 2, show up for night 3. We're going to do more Q&As. It's so important to me that your questions get answered. Marwan, how long does it take to fully recover and regulate my neuromuscular system? I've been doing this, working with people in this capacity for about 10 years now. And that is still such a hard question to answer because not only do we have the physical neuromuscular system, like the actual nerve to muscle communication, we also have the person who's attached to the neuromuscular dysfunction. And this is where our lifestyle, our habits, our sleep, our recovery, past childhood traumas, current traumas, all of this stuff is regulating our system, our ability to self-regulate, our coping mechanisms, our ability to set boundaries. All of this stuff impacts the health of our neuromuscular system. So Marwan, I could give you a blanket. It takes 3 to 6 months, but what if you're faster? What if you're twice that, given the dysregulation that's being experienced elsewhere in your life? So everybody is different. Everybody learns at a different rate. Everybody's got to heal and work through things at a different rate. The amount of dysfunction could be significant with one person and insignificant in the next. So the severity of what's going on has a huge impact. And there's also like you as a person, I've never worked with a body that doesn't have a mind. If you're one to also self-sabotage your process because you're starting to feel good, so you quit, you start to feel good, you take a couple of days off, there's so many things that go into this. So I'm going to give you a blanket statement of I don't know, but what I can tell you with 100% certainty is that if you start, we will be better within the next year. I don't know if that's 5%. I don't know if it's 95%. But where there's a will, there's a way. And I'm going to show you how to put that will into work. And it's now just a matter of how do we relax and unwind what has probably been winding up for days, weeks, months, years, for most people, decades. So the question is not really how long does it fully take to recover and regulate your neuromuscular system. The $1,000,000 question is, how long does it take you to recover and learn how to regulate your neuromuscular system? Me, it took 5 years, and I put this program together in hopes that it doesn't take anybody else 5 years to do that. I want to streamline what it is that you need. I want to guide you through the pitfalls, the dead ends, the blind turns. This is why I have a program. So you don't have to go get the certifications. You don't have to go read through the books and create this massive, wildly uncontained trial and error process. I want to put the container, the boundaries on it, the guardrails, and guide you on how you can actually do this in a much more efficient and effective way. And I hope that's worth it for you. And if it's not, I absolutely wish you the best of luck, and I hope you find exactly what it is you're looking for. If you want somebody to really guide you through this, who's been through it, I'd be honored to do that. Okay. All right, everybody. I'm out. I'm going to conserve energy for night 2. Please take care of yourself. Notice if you sleep a little different tonight. Notice if you wake up a little different tomorrow morning. But let's not put pressure or expectations on that. Let's be very light, open, and curious. And okay. I'll see everybody tomorrow night. Take care.